Hi there guys, issue number 10. I hope you're not being disrupted too much by the coronavirus. So for me myself, I'm working at home from now on, so maybe I'll get time to do a few more videos. Who knows? Let's get into it. So this week we've got the Tomb Banshee, which comes with a very small sprue with a 32mm base. We'll have a look at that in a minute. We also received Corn Red, which is a very fetching base paint, which is nice. I like a bit of Corn Red. And then we've got new rules to play through. Now, I haven't actually got a playthrough for you this week. I'll probably upload another video with that at some point between this week and next week. So what have we got? This issue comes with a terrifying Tomb Banshee and a new paint, Corn Red. Many painters find red a tricky colour to use, as it takes multiple coats to cover dark colours and stains light colours easily. But with our guide and a good point on your brush, you'll be painting red on your Banshees perfectly. We'll also show you how to apply Cantor Blue to your other Nighthaunt models. When they are ready for battle, the playthrough introduces important new rules, including a new weapon for your Sequitors, the Storm Smite's Great Mace. And I'm not doing the actual playthrough itself today, but I will go through that with you as well. Okay, so in this issue, we're going to learn about Tomb Banshees. Then we're going to learn about the forging of a Stormcast Eternal. Sigmar's Stormcast Eternals are among his greatest creations. Read about the process by which these heroic warriors are created. And then we've got battles number 4, Wake Not the Dead. A grave robber comes to learn the true danger of his profession in his terrifying ghost story. Then we've got a build guide for the Banshee. Then we've got paint guide upgraded with the Corn Red. And then we've got playthrough issue number 10, Chill Blades and Hearts of Ice. Okay, Tomb Banshees. Tomb Banshees are deadly opponents for any mortal. The touch of these ghostly spectres can stop a beating heart, and the chill daggers they carry can pass through armour to deliver a killing blow. Their most powerful weapon, however, is their scream. The howl of a Tomb Banshee can instantly kill, for it freezes the blood in the victim's veins. The noise is so painful it can rip a soul straight out of its body. Okay, so I already have a Tomb Banshee. I bought the model for Blood Bowl for a conversion. I've assembled it and primed it, so that is the model that I will show you in a minute. Okay, then we've got Banshee hosts. While they are fairly common in Nighthaunt processions, Tomb Banshees usually prefer to fight alone, drifting through the ghostly formations and delivering their shrieks to kill the enemy. Since the Necroquake, however, there have been whispers of Tomb Banshees working together. 5 of them formed in the Hell Choir of the Banelands, where they fought alongside Baron Finalem's army. They were key to the Nighthaunt recapturing the burial grounds known as the Vale of Remembrance. Okay, very nice. Then we've got Lingering Hatred. Centuries ago, Anita Van Hask was betrayed and abandoned by her lover. Overcome by grief, she died in misery, cursed to bedevil the realms as a Tomb Banshee. She haunts ancient ruins alongside her Mind-Worn Banshees, Banshee handmaidens, luring mortals to their untimely deaths. Then we move on to Forging of a Stormcast Eternal. The Stormcast Eternals are perhaps Sigmar's greatest achievement. Each of them is created from the soul of a brave warrior of order, and they fight with the strength of a dozen men. Creating such mighty warriors requires some of the most complicated, powerful magic in existence. Okay, and then we've got a couple of notable Stormcast Eternals: Danik Bloodwing, Arnos Whitesteel, Vangar Wolfhide, and Martos Soul Sword. Okay, then we've got this week's story, which is Wake Not the Dead, and I'll read the first paragraph or 2 of this. But again, if people want to hear more of this, let me know, and I don't mind in future issues if people want it to recount the entire story at the end. But here we go. Wake Not the Dead. Across Shais, the desperate and the damned scratch a cursed living, stealing from the crumbling tombs and haunted mansions of the forgotten dead. There are riches to be won from such thievery, but the risks are great. For in Shaiish the dead still walk, and their vengeance is terrifying to behold. Lomas directed the beam of his lantern around the tomb. The faces of the stone carvings covered the walls and ceilings, glaring disapprovingly at him from every corner of the chamber. As he stepped further into the room, Lomas saw what he had been looking for. Set into alcoves at several points along the walls were 4 sarcophagi. He strode towards the sarcophagus at the far end of the chamber and set his lantern down on the cold stone floor. Producing an iron bar from his pack, he began to lever the heavy stone lid away, prying open a grave that had been undisturbed for countless generations. As he grunted and strained, his mind raced with the imagined riches. A jewel or two could fetch a pretty price in Lethis, if you know the right people. Lomas took great pride in knowing the right people. With a final grunt and the crack of splintering stone, the lid slid open. Lomas pushed and sent it crashing to the floor. He coughed as a cloud of dust and mould surrounded him. He picked up his lantern and shone the flickering beam through the sarcophagus. Inside the stone coffin lay the remains of a woman, a rictus grin fixed on her skeletal face. Her corpse was dressed in the same finery as she had worn in life, albeit tattered and decayed. On her left hand, a series of rings sparkled in the lantern light. Loman's eyes widened greedily, and he reached for the jewels. So focused was he on removing the glittering rings that he hadn't noticed the change in temperature. It was only when he set down the lantern once more and began placing the stolen jewels in his pack that he began to shiver. A sharp breeze swept across the chamber, scattering debris and dust into the air. Lomas's lantern flickered wildly where it lay, the light casting long shadows across the walls. Then, with a final gust, the light spluttered and went out. Lomas scrabbled desperately in the darkness until his fingers closed upon the lantern. He opened his pack and rummaged desperately for his tinderbox. In the pitch black, he heard a soft weeping begin, the sobs building into a mournful wail that sent a chill running down the length of his spine. Terror gripped him, and his hands began to shake violently. Okay. Then we've got our build guide for the Tomb Banshee. Now I've already got one built, but I will show you the sprue quickly, because what is slightly different is that although we do receive a 32mm base, this sprue also has one of the old square bases on it as well. So you can choose to mount the Banshee on there or straight on the base. Now here is the one that I already own for Blood Bowl, and they are indeed a very cool model. Very nice. Lovely. Then we get to our paint guide. So taking us through the things we've already seen, our Banshee gets coats of Corax white and Nylock oxide. We add Cantor blue to our chain rasps and glaive wraiths, and then we add some more corn red to our Mymorn Banshees and our Tomb Banshee. Okay, then that takes us right up to our new mission this week, Chill Blades and Hearts of Ice. Now, I'm not playing through this today. It's a bit more involved, so I'm going to do it separately in a few days' time. So keep an eye out for that if you want to see it. So what does this add to what we've got? Well, we're going to push our Tomb Banshee into fight with our Mymorn Banshees against our team of Sequitors. So what is different this week? We've got upgraded war scrolls here. So the Sequitors, you can see anyone that's holding a Great Mace, which is basically the two-handed weapons that some of our Sequitors have got already, they've got an additional line on our war scrolls. So basically we will roll dice for anyone that's got a maul, and we'll roll the Great Maces separately. And what changes for them is that they hit and wound on a 3-up, but the Great Mace does 2 damage instead of 1. And then we've also got a little ability here, Great Mace Blast. So for each hit roll of 6, so you re-roll the 6 and you get D3 hits as well. So you get an opportunity to get more hits on the Great Mace. Then we've got our upgraded War Scroll for our Mindworn Banshees, and then our one for the Tomb Banshee. Now, Tomb Banshee's stats are exactly the same as the Mindworn Banshees, except it moves a little bit less, but has more wounds. But it also has an ability called Frightful Touch. And then that means that any hit rolls of a 6, which is on a 4-up anyway, so any 6s cause D3 mortal wounds. But I will play through that in the coming days. Okay, so what have we got coming up? So next week we've got our Sigmarite Mausoleum, which we look forward to. This is pretty nice terrain. I've already got it from Warcry, but I look forward to showing that to you guys. And then issue number 12, we've got a Night Questor, so that's new Stormcast Eternal hero. So we look forward to that as well. Looks very, very nice. So thank you very much for watching, guys. It's a cool issue. I do like it. And I will catch you in a couple of days for the playthrough of the mission. But if you're not interested in that, I'll see you next week for issue number 11. Thanks a lot. See you later.